What's up, guys? Welcome to my 2026 NFL mock draft. The draft should be within a week now, so let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it. With the first pick, I have the Las Vegas Raiders selecting quarterback Fernando Mendoza. It should be a no-brainer considering he's the only quarterback in the class that I believe has the potential to be a franchise quarterback. Some people like Ty Simpson as well, but I personally am not too high on him. I also don't view Mendoza as a generational prospect, but I do think he can make all the throws. He has underrated mobility, and he just seems like a gym rat that always wants to get better. Also, I believe all of his teammates attended his birthday party, so he should be a hit for sure. With the second pick, I have the New York Jets selecting edge rusher David Bailey out of Texas Tech. Bailey might be the best pure pass rusher in this class, which is what Aaron Glenn desperately needs for his defense. I also don't see him as a liability in the run game. He made some serious improvements in that category this year. With the third pick, I have the Cardinals taking offensive tackle Francis Mauigoa. Arizona has weaknesses all over their roster, but right tackle is a massive one. They have stability at left tackle with Paris Johnson, but it seems wise to strengthen their offensive line before they select their franchise quarterback next season to make sure he's in the best position to succeed. I view Mauigoa as the best offensive tackle in this draft, which is why he would be perfect for the Cardinals. With the fourth pick, we have the Tennessee Titans. I see Ruben Bain as the perfect Robert Saleh edge rusher, but with his off the field issues, I can see him falling in the draft. We will touch on Bain later in this video. That being said, I think the Titans will opt to go for linebacker edge rusher hybrid Arvell Reese. Reese has the potential to be one of the most dynamic defensive players in the game, but if he goes to a bad defensive coordinator, I don't think he will reach his ceiling as just a linebacker or just an edge rusher. Luckily for him, Robert Saleh is anything but a bad defensive mind. Reese should definitely reach his ceiling with Saleh's guidance. Saleh is going to have a field day with this guy. We got the Giants picking next, and they have a sophomore quarterback in Jackson Dart who showed flashes in his rookie year and did it without star receiver Malik Willis. Their offensive line looks serviceable, but if they want Dart to take a leap without quarterback guru Brian Daboll, they're going to need him to get some more help. That is why I have him selecting Ohio State wide receiver Carnell Tate. Now, we have never seen Tate be successful as a number one option because Jeremiah Smith was on the other side. Luckily for him, he doesn't need to be a number one with Malik Neighbors already on the team, which makes the Giants the perfect landing spot for him. I could see him developing into a T. Higgins type player. We got the Browns drafting at pick 6. Whether it's Shadur or Deshaun starting at quarterback, they need help on the offensive line. They have invested a ton of offseason resources on their line, leaving just one massive hole, the left tackle position. I'm going to lean towards Spencer Fano over Monroe Freeling here. Monroe Freeling might project as more of a left tackle, but I believe Fano is more pro ready. The Brownies can't have a player as raw as Freeling protecting the blind side for whoever starts at quarterback. If Fano happens to be more of a guard, maybe they can try DeJuan Jones at left tackle again, and push come to shove, they can trot out left-handed Dylan Gabriel, making Titus Howard the blind side. I'm just kidding. We now have the Commanders picking at 7. They could hit a home run here with Sonny Styles. Dan Quinn is going to love this guy. Middle linebackers don't usually go this high, but I believe he has the highest floor of any player in this draft. I don't think he's quite Fred Warner good, but I can see him being Brian Urlacher good. Now we have the Saints. If they truly believe in Tyler Shugg, they will invest in another weapon to help him develop. They already addressed offensive line last season, which is why Mekhi Lemon makes perfect sense. Give your quarterback a tough-as-nails slot option to complement Chris Olave. Now we got the Chiefs drafting earlier than they usually do. They are in a position to take a luxury position, which is why they will be taking one of the best safety prospects we've seen in a while in Caleb Downs. Kansas City has a great track record of developing quarterbacks they draft in day 2, And they already signed Kenneth Walker in free agency, making them not really needing Jeremiah Love here. Now it's time for the Bengals to draft at 10. For those who are accusing me of helmet scouting, you would be correct. I think front offices genuinely have biases for certain colleges they like to draft from, which is why I have cornerback Mansour Delane joining the Bayou Bengals. Jeremiah Love was tempting here, but I do think the Bengals need help on defense. Now let's go over to the Dolphins, who need help at literally every position, which will enable them to go best player available. Jeremiah Love would be that, but they already have A-Chain, so I don't see them taking another back, considering all the holes they already have on their roster. This might be a hot take, but I have Caden Proctor as the best offensive lineman available, not Vega Ione. Proctor's biggest red flag is whether he will be able to stick at left tackle, but we already know Ione isn't a left tackle. I also think Proctor has the potential to be a more dominant guard than Ione. On top of that, he has the potential to play one of the most important positions on the field. Give me Caden Proctor here. We have America's team with their first of 2 picks in this mock draft. Their offense was incredible last year, which is why I think both of their picks will be on defense. Jermod McCoy has the potential to be one of the best corners in the league, but he is risky because of his injury history. I also know that Jerry Jones has no issue taking risks, so I believe Jermod McCoy is the pick here. The Rams also have 2 picks this year, and I think they will be using their first one on offense. It seems like McVay is trying to model his offense after Shanahan's Super Bowl offense from a couple years ago. 2 receivers that can run a full route tree, 2 running backs with a similar skill set to hide their hand from the defense. The only thing he is missing is a do-it-all tight end, which is why I believe they will be taking Kenyon Sadiq here. Sadiq isn't quite the blocker that George Kittle is, but he isn't a pushover either. He's also a fantastic receiving option, which is why I believe McVay will have a lot of fun with him. Now we got the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens get another tremendous prospect to fall to them in Vega Ione. They really need to stabilize their offensive line if they want to get back into the playoffs, and they happen to have what many consider to be the best offensive line prospect in this class, regardless of position, to fall in their lap. But the Bucks are up next, and they need some help on defense. Akeem Messidor is an older, pro-ready edge rusher that fits Todd Bowles' defensive scheme. So let's go with him. Pick 16, the Jets. I believe that Jordan Tyson is the best receiver in this class, but injury concerns could lead him to fall. The Jets are in a position to take best player available, and I think Tyson will complement Garrett Wilson very well. Now we got the Lions, and we've seen Dan Campbell reach on players in the past if he really likes them. That's why I like them taking offensive tackle Blake Miller here. He is probably the most pro-ready tackle, and he can play left tackle, which will allow Penei Sewell to continue playing right tackle. Now this is where I think the Jeremiah Love slide will finally come to an end. The Vikings could use a game changer at back next to Kyler, with Aaron Jones getting older. Love going to the Vikings just makes a lot of sense. We got the Panthers at pick 19. They're going to want Bryce Young to take another step forward, which is why they will be going with wide receiver Omar Cooper Jr. here. They have plenty of weapons they can push the ball downfield with in McMillan, Coker, Leggett, but they will need a quick read option so Bryce can get the ball out quick if he needs to. I'm personally not a huge fan of Cooper this early. I don't think his skill set is very translatable to the NFL level. People compare him to Deebo Samuel, but he's not. He's a lot slimmer than Deebo and quite frankly not as good. But at the end of the day, it's not about what I want them to do. It's about what I think they will do. I believe it's finally time to have the Ruben Bain conversation. I view him as a potential game changer, but he was involved in a car accident that led to a 22-year-old girl losing her life. He was originally cited for reckless driving, but as more information came out, the citation was dropped, and the situation is viewed as just a horrible accident. He seems like a great kid that was involved in an unfortunate situation, but I think he will fall because of the optics. I can't see a team like the Titans drafting him early when their owner canned Mike Vrabel because of toxic masculinity. I can see other teams considering the aspect of how they can sell the idea to him to their fan base. Now, here's where Jerry Jones comes into play. He has never really cared about optics. Michael Irvin was his favorite player. He took a chance on Greg Hardy. I believe Bain's slide will end at 20 with the Cowboys. I just don't think Jerry can let a game changer fall past him at a position of need. Alright, let's talk about the Steelers at pick 21. There's a lot of uncertainty at quarterback, with no one knowing the future of Aaron Rodgers. They also reunited him with his old coach, Mike McCarthy. I believe this is a perfect opportunity for McCarthy to do what he likes to do the best: draft a quarterback in the first round to piss off Aaron Rodgers. I also see this as a decent fit for Ty Simpson. Now let's go to 22, where we have the Chargers. They just cannot afford to have a bad offensive line again. They have two very good tackles, but they need some help at O-line regardless. That's where Caleb Lomu comes in. Most people project him to be a guard, but if one of those guys go down, they can play him at tackle as well. Jim Harbaugh loves bulking up their offensive line, so give me Caleb Lomu. Pick 24, the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going back to the helmet scouting. The Eagles love their Georgia Bulldogs. Monroe Freeling is a high upside potential left tackle for them that they can develop. I like Monroe Freeling here. We're back with the Browns here at pick 24. And this isn't really what I want them to do. This is what I think they will do. I want them to get edge rusher, but I think their fans are screaming for receiving help. So it's either between KC Concepcion and Denzel Boston. KC eats more in the intermediate. He can play the slot, which is where Shadur likes to go towards. So you got Judy and KC in the middle, and I still believe in Cedric on the outside, even though people are willing to give up on him. If not, Isaiah Bond's got deep speed. But I think Casey is going to help complement Shadur's talent more. Or Deshaun, if that's the guy. We got pick 25, which is the Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams took a huge step forward in year 2. I think he's the real deal, so I think they can focus on defense here. Caden McDonald is a run stuffer in the middle. They really need some guys on the D-line that can really penetrate. I think he has less question marks than Peter Woods, so I like Caden McDonald here. Pick 26, we got the Buffalo Bills. They need a number 1 receiver bad. It hasn't quite worked with Keon Coleman. It's still possible he figures it out, but right now Khalil Shakir is their number 1. He's probably better as a complementary option. Give me Denzel Boston. He's the only first-round caliber receiver left. They fall to the Bills. The San Francisco 49ers at pick 27. Trent Williams is getting older, so they need to be proactive. I think they're going to take Arizona State lineman Max Ioniker. He's extremely raw. He's only played football for 4 years, but he gets to learn from the best of our generation, Trent Williams. What an upside pick for them. I think this is going to be a perfect proactive play for the San Francisco 49ers. At pick 28, we got the Houston Texans. They are way too committed to the CJ Stroud project. They really need to make this work. Chase Bisontes from Texas A&M is an offensive guard who's a really good pass protector. They will improve that O-line. They've been putting resources into all offseason. But yeah, they really need CJ Stroud to go back to rookie form, and he just needs some time to throw. At pick 29, we got the Chiefs again. They traded their number 1 corner, Trent McDuffie, to acquire this pick. I like Keldrick Falk, edge rusher from Auburn. He fits Spagnuolo's defensive scheme. He's a defensive end but moves like a defensive tackle. Chris Jones plays defensive tackle, but it's their most effective defensive end. Spagnuolo will have a very versatile D-line, adding 20-year-old Keldrick Falk into the mix. At pick 30, we got the Miami Dolphins. They traded their number 1 receiver, Jalen Waddle, to get this pick. And with the new head coach in Jeff Hafley, he really values the secondary. I'm not a big fan of taking safeties in the first round, but it seems like Jeff Hafley is. It's a big part of his defensive structure. So give me Oregon's Dylan Thieneman. Pick 31, New England Patriots. They're going to try their best to get back to the Super Bowl, but they're going to have to add another edge rusher here. It's between TJ Parker and Cassius Howe. I think Parker's discipline fits Zach Kerr's defense better. TJ Parker had a down year, but so did everyone in Clemson. I'm pretty sure Dabo Swinney just hired a really bad coaching staff. bunch of his buddies and his buddies' friends. None of those guys in Clemson's developed the way they needed to. Not Peter Woods, not Cade Klubnik. I think TJ Parker and Peter Woods are actually super underrated if they get with the right coaching staff. Last but not least, we have the defending Super Bowl champions, the Seattle Seahawks. They lost a very talented cornerback in Tariq Woolen, but they could just replace him with their first round pick here, South Carolina's corner Brandon Cisse. He already has chemistry with Nick Eamon-Wari, and I think he would just be a perfect plug-in replacement for losing Tariq Woolen, and their defense is going to be good again. That should wrap it up. There's a lot of talent left in round two according to this mock draft. Thanks for everyone that watched this. I hope I'm as accurate as possible, but probably not.